Right, today we'll go on to the last chapter in this volume. Now, originally this volume is only volume 3, just one book like this. But after a few years, it doubled up. So now you got 3A, 3B. So actually, although I say this volume actually is part A, the first part. So we are doing this last sutta, 3.9, which is a very important teaching on the nature of karma. Karma is one of the central teachings in Buddhism. It's about our actions. It's one way of looking at samsara, looking at what's going on in our world. Karma is uniquely Buddhist. There are other teachings of karma in India, yes, but there are some important differences. The main differences, the key differences, number one is that this is self-effort. Karma is our effort. We can do it or we cannot do it. So there are two kinds of karma. Karma that you do, karma that you don't do. The karma of commission, you commit something, and the karma of omission, you omit something. You do, you don't do. Take for example, the precepts are karma that you don't do. Right? We talk about the 3 trainings. First training is precepts. Say no. 5 no's. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, no getting drunk. Right? We're going to look at these 5 later. And then 5 yes. Or rather, you say yes. The next one, that is meditation. Say yes to peace, yes to the breath, yes to loving kindness. And then finally just be silent. That's your wisdom. Okay? Wisdom, knowledge alone is not enough. Wisdom is knowing how to use this knowledge, understanding things. Right? So there you are. These are 3 trainings. So karma is your own action. Number 2, karma is self-accountability. We are responsible for our actions, so we can change things ourselves. It's possible for us to change things. Another important thing to remember is not everything is due to karma. If everything is due to karma, then we have no chance to get out of this world. The fact that you are a human being is not past karma. Now, listen very carefully to this one, how I say it. The fact that you are a human being, or let me be more exact, the fact that you have a human body, the fact that you are born a human, is not past karma. It's present conditions. You have human parents. Human parents give to human birth, right? So they are present conditions. Then the fact that you are a human, your humanity, you behave like a human, it's because of your parents. Again, present conditions. So this is a nurture aspect. But how good you are, how bad you are, often goes back to past karma. Okay? The seeds of the fact that you are able to become human, that is past karma. Okay? So there is this consciousness moving around when the previous person has passed away. So let's say you've done good deeds, so you see human parents, then you are drawn to them like that. Okay? And then they give you human birth. So the lots of things, conditions put together, in other words. Now, there are many ways of saying this. Important thing is you explain what it means. There are past karma, present conditions. So we must not say what to do, it's my past karma. Not always true. Right? If you say what to do is my past karma, you're resigning to, you're saying that's the way it is, I can't change. You can change. In fact, change is the next thing you must remember. This is the rule of life. Everything changes. Only yesterday I was 16 years old. Today I'm 70 years old.
So fast.
It's like, sometimes don't you feel like only yesterday you were very young? Yeah? So what happened? Suddenly I've grown old. Right? Change. Change. We always think everything will move very slowly. No? That's what we think. Actually, when you think, a lot of things happen quite suddenly. It's the way our mind works. Notice when you hurry and no problem. Say, hey, the bus come already, you say. But when you're waiting for the bus, hey, why is the bus late? Huh? The bus is never late. It's whether you are waiting for the bus, you are in a hurry or not, you see. It's our mind, how our mind perceives time, perception. Eh? One day we'll talk more about all these 5 aggregates about perception and so on. Today we're talking about karma. So this is page 144, the title page. Sañcetanika Sutta 1. You see in the middle of this word is Cetanika. That's to do with what's called intention. Sañcetanika, with intention. Okay? The top right hand corner, the number A10.206, Sutta number. No? So there are different names given there. Patama Sañcetanika Sutta. And then you have Dutiya also. They're very close, these two suttas, just with some slight difference on it. Theme, how karma is forestalled and destroyed. How you can prevent bad karma or karma generally and get rid of the karma. So now you have bad karma, you have good karma, and then you have no karma. The best is no karma. That's the Arahat. The Arahat doesn't create any new karma. No more rebirth, no more suffering. But for us, our first training say no, remember? No to bad karma. Yes to good karma. Okay? But don't stop there, because when you say yes to good karma, where there's good, there's also bad, right? So it's not we want bad to come, it's just that we become careless, we become upset, we become angry. Okay? So then our 3 doors are open. What are the 3 doors? Body, speech, and mind. These are the 3 karma doors, 3 doors of karma. That's how we do action. This is how karma build up our life, and we go on and on and on. Huh? Okay, now let's look at the sutta itself. Now there are a lot of notes here you can read on your own. I'm giving a kind of explain the sutta. Okay. Notice the notes are much more. No? The notes are about 20 pages. No? The sutta is less than half. No? That's called a commentary. Whenever I look at the number of pages, I say, "Wow, these people today are very lucky. So much notes." In my time, very difficult to get all these notes. Look at page 165, Sañcetanika Sutta 1, page 165. The first discourse on the intentional. Intentional here is the word for karma. Notice the same sutta, A10.206 and A10.207, they are the same. Now let me just say another word about intention. Intention means you can be conscious, you can also be unconscious of something, take for example those a robber who goes around killing people, or soldiers who go around killing people. They're so used to the idea of killing, they don't think anymore about it. But it's still killing. Just because we don't think about it doesn't mean it's not killing, it is still killing. Because it has become a habit, so you don't think about it. Notice sometimes we do something wrong and then suddenly we realize, why did I do it? Now I know it is wrong. You know it is wrong through review knowledge. You review, you say, wow, that was not right. Then you understand certain things in the past make you do it, and you find out what it is, then you prevent the bad karma from occurring again. So this is wisdom. That's why the more you study the suttas, the better you understand how the mind works. You understand how sometimes our mind can lie to us, cheat to us, confuse us. So that way we can correct things, and better still, prevent things. Okay, these are the right actions. Two right action, correct things. Two right action, prevent things. The actions to correct. Something bad that you have not done before, don't do it. Something bad you have started doing, stop it. Okay, so first two right action. Something good you have not done before, start doing it. Something good that you have started doing, continue doing it. Those are the two right actions. Okay? Okay, let's look at passage 1. Bhikshus, those are the monks, bhikshus, so the Buddha is talking here. I do not say that there is an ending of intentional deeds done and piled up. Having experienced them, or their results, whether right here in the present or in the next life or in another life. Okay, this sentence is a bit complicated. Now, what the Buddha says is, he does not teach karma simply as the result that all karma must take effect in this life, next life, or future life. He doesn't say that. Okay? He doesn't say that all karma must take effect on us, present life, future life, other lives. Now, then the next sentence is even more complicating. Look at 1.2. Yet, bhikshus, I do not say that there is an ending of suffering without having experienced the fruits of intentional deeds done and piled up. Done and piled up. That means you do it and then you make a habit of it. So again, the Buddha say, it's a double negative here. I do not say that there is an ending of suffering without experiencing all this karma. No? That means it doesn't mean that you must experience everything, then only you will be free from karma. It's not like that either. Right? So this is a bit, for the scholars, a bit very complicated sentence structure. Let me simplify one more time. First thing the Buddha says, you do not need to go through all the karma in order to be free. Okay? Number 2, you must be careful to make sure that this karma, does not have effect on you also. That's another way of looking at it. Yeah? Sometimes you may wonder, what is the Buddha saying in the first two? Because it's quite profound. But then he explains the rest of the sutta, he explains it. Okay? If you're still wondering what's going on, this is what you can think, that all this karma that's going on in our life, you don't have all the bad things you have done. It doesn't mean you have paid back all that in order for you to be free from suffering. It is impossible for us because we don't know how many bad karma we have done. And yet, if you don't end karma, you will not be free from suffering either. So the middle way is to understand the nature of karma. Okay? For example, earlier on I said that you can be conscious and you do karma, then you can tell yourself, okay, I must be mindful not to do it. But sometimes because we have been habitually doing it, we don't even think about it. Now, that is problematic too, So you cannot say, I didn't think about it. You don't think about it, it's still karma. It is, okay, bad karma to be more exact. So it is bad karma when there is greed, hate, delusion behind the action. Okay? We may say there's no greed, no hate, but there is delusion. So this is one of the problems, for example, about euthanasia. Yeah? People can argue and say, oh no, we don't kill all these people, because we don't have hatred towards them. In fact, we love them. But that second statement is a problem. You cannot possibly love someone and kill that person. You're ending a natural flow of life, right? So, now Buddhism doesn't give easy answers, If the Buddha says, oh, it's okay, here it's okay to kill, here not okay to kill, wow. It's very difficult. Who decides, It's not always very clear. So it is safer to say no. Life is sacred, and be clear with that. So things like euthanasia, you have to decide very carefully. Of course, the Buddhists will always say no. We will have no part in destroying life. We will make the dying comfortable, yes. But we will not take the part of destroying life. It's not so easy, but it's because life is sacred. It's not our life. It's not our. We can't give life, so we got to respect life. Okay. Okay. Now the teaching starts. This part is quite easy. Okay. Look at 1.3. Bhikshus. Threefold is the defiling fault of bodily actions due to the unwholesome volition, painful outcome, painful results. Okay, this first part is very simple. There are 3 wrong actions of body. What are the 3 wrong actions of the body? The first 3 precepts: killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. And this arises because of unwholesome volition. Unwholesome is the Buddhist word for bad. That means it has greed, hate, delusion. Okay, people kill because of greed, people kill because of hate, people kill because of confused mind, wrong belief. That's delusion. That's the meaning of unwholesome volition. Volition means will, intention. Yeah? With painful outcome, painful result, then we face this result later on. Okay? Now the rest, the sentence structure are the same, so I only read to you the keyword. So you see the underlined words: bodily action. Second one is verbal action, that means speech. Third one, mental action. So body, speech, mind. These are the 3 doors of action. Okay. And remember the number 3, 4, 3. 3 of body, 4 of speech, 3 of mind. Anyway, later the sutta will show you all this. So there are 4 wrong actions of speech. But in the precepts, there's only 1, right? Precept only musavada, lying. But you can say in that precept, we include all the other 3. And then mental action, there are 3 kinds also. We'll find out in a while what they are. Then you see all the next section, everything's elaborated in detail. If you're wondering what's going on, you look at the subtitle in what they call that, small capitals. Wrong bodily action, the first one, notice? And then the next subtitle, next page, what is it called? Wrong verbal action. And then further down, wrong mental action. Okay, so this is the first part. Okay, and then there are a couple more things. Disadvantage, and then the simile. Simile is the parable. And then after you have the second part on good karma. So that's an overview. Okay, what are the 3 wrong bodily actions? 1.4. And how bhikshus is the defiling fault of bodily action due to unwholesome volition with painful outcome, painful results threefold. How is this karma of body of three kinds? Then you have 1, 2, 3. Can you see the round brackets? 1. Here bhikshus, a certain person harms living beings. Cruel, bloody-handed, given to violence and killing, merciless to living beings. So there you are. This sutta describes in detail when the precept is broken. Okay? So if someone, say, is walking and doesn't know, he steps on an ant, that's not counted. Yeah? Or someone drives a car very carefully, but accidentally somebody runs across the road, knocks the person down, the person dies. That driver is not at fault. This is just ideally speaking. Of course, if you are more careful, you can brake or good, what do you call that, response, reflex, you can save lives. But let's just assume to simplify karma. So first, harms living beings. This person is very violent, full of hatred and so on. Number 2, here again, he takes what is not given. There you are, taking what's not given. Okay? In a village or in a forest. That means anywhere. Okay? He takes by way of theft the possessions of others that are of service to them. So again, the sutta tries to explain here why we should not take things, because it is of service to them. For example, people work hard, they have money, they use money to buy their needs, and you steal that, you are taking away what helps them to live. Okay, so that's wrong. You're taking a not given. Of course, there are special cases. Now, is the rule more strict for a monk? A monk is not supposed to take even as much as 5 cents. I think the Singapore 5 cent is a bit bigger than the Indian coin. You might even say 1 cent, if you like, because 1 Singapore cent is about 3 Malaysian cent. So a good monk, he sees 1 cent on the floor, or worse, he sees $100 bill on the ground, he won't pick it up. Because if he picks it up, he breaks the rule, right?
Pick up and make it into the monk a cent?
No. No. So a monk comes to a house. He must. If he's a good monk, he will not touch anything. He's very careful not to. To take is all defined very clearly in Vinaya, by the way. Okay, if I touch like that, it's okay, all right. This is being legalistic. If I do it like that, so it's okay. But the moment it's lifted up, it's regarded as taken. So you have to be very careful, so the monk will never touch it. Of course, they call it the spirit of the law. See? If the monk is just trying all this out, he's either being funny or he's just making fun of him. So he wouldn't do that. See? All right? So anyway, that's the way it's defined. The moment it's lifted up, from that moment it is regarded as stolen. So this is a different world. It's the Vinaya, very clear, very technical. So what about lay people? This is very important to consider. Now, if you are with close friend, okay, so in an emergency, you need this cup, so you take this cup home. You say, okay, I'll bring it back. That's not stealing. As a layman, by the way, not as a monk. Okay, you take it with the intention of returning it. Okay, and of course you are good friends. If you're not good friends, then you have a problem. Okay, so there are variations there. Okay, all right. So basically, it's taking the not given anywhere in the village, in the forest, by way of stealing. And in other words, you're not given. You're not supposed to take it. So much so that even monks, they don't pluck fruits, right? Of course, I can't remember whether they're allowed to pick up fruits or not. Normally, they need to be offered anyway. Okay? In Thailand, you have a special word, to offer to a monk. Only one word, and it's used for that one. It's called prakken. Prakken means to offer it to the monk. Okay? So otherwise they won't take it. One reason they do this is partly to overcome any thought of greed. Okay. Next one, number 3. Here again, he commits sexual misconduct, falling into such conduct with those under the care of their mother, under the care of their father, under the care of their parents, under the care of their brother, under the care of their sister, under the care of their relative, one with a husband, under the care of the law, even one adorned with a string of garlands. In other words, betrothed. Yeah? Now here it means anyone who is a minor according to the law, okay? Or they're still under the care of parents. So parents still can kind of like decide for them. So basically it's respecting another person who is not independent enough or capable enough of making his own decisions. So you cannot violate that kind of person. Okay, you cannot have a relationship with that kind of person. Right? Then the precept is broken. This is the third precept. The third precept is about respecting the person's person, the body of the other person. Giving freedom to women, to men, to have the right to say no. In a relationship. Yeah? So you have, number 1, respect for life. In other words, the precepts are based on values. First value is life, respect for life. That's why we value the first precept, not to kill. The second precept is based on the value of happiness. Why happiness? Now you have life, you work hard to get some food or get money to buy food, right? And that's your happiness. You're happy because you have food, then you're healthy, you have medicine, you're healthy, you have money to buy things you need, you're happy. So if someone steals the money, it's taking away your happiness. That's why we say it's based on the value of happiness. Because to live, you also must be happy, right? Number 3, it's not just about sexuality, it's about freedom. The person must have the right to say no. He says, no, I don't want to marry you. No, I do not want to have any relationship. No, I do not want to have sex. And you have to respect that. So that's freedom. Yeah? So these are the 3 values. Okay? So you have 3 precepts, 3 values. Clear enough? Okay?
Can I just ask you?
Yeah, sure.
This one about sexual misconduct. It's male and female. Now we come to what today call gay marriage. We look at it from this perspective.
Yeah, there's a bit of problem there because you don't have that kind of problem in Buddha's time. Of course, this idea of gay marriage is more of a legal thing. So both partners have got the legal right, so you don't lose the advantage of property. So they have come up with all these ideas to make sure that the property is handed over to the right party. So here it depends on the role they play. All right, we're talking about partners here. So this is where you don't need precepts. This is where the law kicks in. The law will decide for them. But respect for each other is all there. They have to respect each other. When the person says no, the other person has to respect. You see, that is very interesting in Buddhist marriage, whether it is normal marriage, straight marriage, or gay marriage. No? When the partner says no, you have to respect that person. But some culture, the female is property, so they can't say anything. But in Buddhism, either party has the right to say no, especially the women. Okay, so. I don't know whether to answer your question or not. Is it clear enough? If not clear, I can still ask.
I look at it, this particular paragraph. It refers to the 2 different sexes.
Oh, yes.
In gay, same sex can be 2 women or could be 2 men. So therefore, does this paragraph apply with us?
Yeah, we adjust accordingly. Because once, if it's a social, it's called a neyata. Okay, neyata, that means the meaning must be drawn out. The other one is nitata. Once you talk about precepts, you have to. There are legalities. Once it's about precepts, there is the legal aspect also. So some things, for example, in Buddha's time, there's no such law, see? Because they categorize sexuality. So it's rather strange because you actually take this form of lust as give a name to it, you know. So this is something very modern, and there are laws applying to it in different countries. So you got to apply those laws. It should be justly applied, of course. You know? Justice is another matter. So the precept is just kind of at the back, telling these people that you must have loving kindness for each other. You have to respect each other, not to harm each other, things like that. But once it comes to legalities, property, then it comes under the law. This applies to the monks also on another matter. You know, let's say a monk has a kapiya. Here is the second precept. You know, monks don't touch money, but sometimes lay people want for convenience they give money, not to the monk but to the kapiya, okay? To the licitor. The big word is licitor, to the layman who makes things allowable for the monk or the nun. So it's like a trustee. So you got to make sure you can trust this person, of course, because there are laws. You know, in Thailand, for example, the Sangha laws. If a layman runs away with the money, you can't do anything about it. So you have to guess. That's why the idea of merit and goodness is there. See, so you have to have a trusted lay person. Because normally the monk will have a relative, say a nephew or someone. In Sri Lanka, you have this notorious nephew idea. See, so the nephew helps to keep the property in the family, even for the monks. So the law says that whatever worldly goods, including monies, that the licitor, that the kapiya holds for the monk, if the monk should die, it's all his. It all belongs to a lay person. Okay, so it's a very nice rule for the lay person. Yeah, because it's a lay. It's not allowable anyway. You know, he can't take it with him, right? So there's a long list of all these interesting points, right? Okay. So is it clear all these three? Any? Yes.
The monetary always does that belongs to the sangha?
No. You see, this is one of the really big problem nowadays. Monks are much richer than all of us combined here. So, who owns the money? It's the monk. See? I mean, now you have all these funny aberrations. The monk owns the monastery. There's no such idea in the Buddha's time.
Normally the sangha, the monastery belongs to the sangha, but the monk don't interfere with the...
Yeah, I mean, the monk can have a say. For example, if something's wrong, the monk will say it, but he does not run it the way we do. Then it's not renunciation anymore, see? Because he stays there temporarily. But now they become landowners. In Sri Lanka, they are actually monastic landowners. And nobody worked to change the law, see? So now the monks are going to politics. So it's getting worse, see? So when we disobey the Buddha, this is what happens, right? So the Buddha gave all the provisions. The layman take charge of it and it runs everything for you. So if you're a bad monk, it can chase you away. You see? So the idea is this person has great faith in this good monk. So there's no problem. See? So it works like that. Yes?
I just want to share because I have this teacher who's from Myanmar and he's a Burmese monk. So they handle money themselves. So he has his own money. He has his own monastery in Myanmar. But he said that although monks are allowed to hold money, but he said that if you are not using in Dharma, you are not using it in the right way, is to prosperous the Buddhism.
No, all those are false statements. They are wrong statements against.
He said
Yeah.
you will lose the money.
No.
In a way, he said that as a monk, he doesn't do his part as a monk to prosperous the Dharma. using your money, then
Well, the ones you hear like that, you should leave the monk. Be very careful, because that's clearly against the Vinaya already.
that's why he said that if the monk didn't do well in preparing for the money for the Dharma, so the monk will naturally lose all the money and lose all his devotees. So it's actually is you can see whether is it
Does this monk use money?
no.
Oh, he doesn't use money. He doesn't touch money. Is it?
He touched money, but he used it for the.
Oh no, that's wrong. When we touch money, it's all roundabout talk. Yeah? Be very careful.
In Burmese, they have to, because most of the monks.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to say too much about that, because there are what are called ethnic variations. So that is their own karma. Lah. But I tell you, as a layman, it's best not to get involved, because you will follow them wherever they go. Yeah, so there are so many other good monks. So why fall for those kind of monks? Because what they want is your money anyway. They're not really interested in your.
He's not asking money, but he just explains that.
Oh yeah, of course they are very good. They are very good at explaining things. So my advice is, the moment you see or hear such monk, keep away. There are worse cases, There's so many scandals or this thing. Religion is a very, very dark thing. So I would say,
Most
yeah.
of the monks in Burmese, they are.
Yes. So keep to the path, the Buddha says. Keep to the path. Don't say, hey, got shortcut, okay, very dangerous. Or take the road less taken. Poetry is fine, but in real life you get lost. Okay? So I like Robert Frost, but then, you can, if you take the road less taken, you know it very well, that's fine. But it's best to keep to the safe path, then you don't get away one day and say, I got into trouble. I have to deal with many of these troubles sometimes, very sad. So we don't want people to get into that trouble. Yeah? And religion is really, really confusing nowadays. So just stay away. Once you're not sure, stay away. Okay? Otherwise, you come and ask all the wise people here. No? Okay, and the rules are very clear here. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What about Sangha fixed salary for
Oh, same. Already I answered the question.
So it's not correct.
No. They're just like laymen, As my retire, easy life, rather than teach and so much problems, right? Just because they're doing it doesn't mean they're right, So we might not be able to change the world, but at least we don't want to be a part of it, yeah? Because the world is so big nowadays, So people can claim they know Buddhism and they start using all these things, In Japan, it's even worse, It's a law, The monks are by law, they cannot wear the robe all the time and they have to eat meat. Can you imagine that? It's all their mistake. In the past, they were very powerful. They were threatening the Mikado, the emperor, and the shogun. So after a few centuries, the government decided to destroy them once forever. And that's the end of the Sangha in Japan. So if you're very careful, just because we see the world is doing it doesn't mean it is right. It's up to you. What kind of Buddhism do you want? Do you want a good one or the bad one? It's your choice, and choose wisely. Now you end up a wrong temper, my goodness, be hell for you right now, You don't have to wait. Right? So, I know many of you are very wise. You've gone through a lot of suffering. My Facebook, people that are a lot of suffering people. They've gone through, they spend the best of their life. They're now 70, 80 years old. They spend like 20, 30 years with some horrible cult, and this guru, so they know all these things. So, as we say in Malay, sama-sama tahu. So, when people bring up anything, you have this few people who will advise it, be careful, don't get caught with this thing. But sometimes you wonder, they have not caught in it, they don't know, they thought it's exciting, until they lose so many things. So, sometimes you got to watch how people suffer, make a movie or something. Well, wisdom is better. You see, and then it's as if you're experiencing it, right? But then again, if you have experienced it, take it as valuable. You have to get out of it in time. Don't stay too long. And you're going to take a long, long time to suffer. What's the point? Okay? All right, so these are the three Yes, yes. One. Yeah, sure.
Because everything's about money. But when we go outside, we can see very common practice. End of a Dharma session, Dharma talk by a monk. And then the devotees Dharma system, those who are used to the culture of giving the red packets.
So you can give to the temple, okay?
So even the monks also.
Mm.
And then this one is very common sight.
Yes. It's very common because those people have been very successful in conditioning you the wrong way. You have become poodles and dancing bears. So they play a tune, you dance. You see? Yeah. Stop listening to them. Stop listening to them. And stop telling people about all these things. So that someone must make a stop. You don't stop here, your future generation also go down the drain. You got to be firm. We are not violent. You know, in the West, they are very strong. The French Revolution, wow, they did away with all the kings, because the kings were rotten for 3 generations, you know, starting with Louis the 14th, you know. So we don't do that in Buddhism. But we must change. Yeah, these people, they have been doing it since the Song dynasty, you know. So how can we stop that in one lifetime? You can't. But you educate we don't want the thinking people to join them. Then we are in serious trouble. Those are like the ants. But here you have the flying birds or whatever, you know. So there is only one Buddha, you know. The Buddha arose in all this huge mess of mad people running around greedy and killing and all this. This one Buddha come up and say, we can change and teach us, and we just need to follow him. We can be that example. We try to teach others. We may not be strong like the Buddha, we try. Okay? The important thing is, when you know it is wrong, no matter the whole world does it also, you won't do it. You got to be that strong. Because if you do it, then no more Dhamma already, Dhamma ending age already. Right? So let those monks do what they want. So I always like the world be. You can't change the world, but you can change yourself. That's what Buddhism is about, early Buddhism. You change yourself and show others it's possible to change. We are the true nobility. If you do that, we are the true Aryas who follow the path. Very few. But slowly that is happening. The good people are coming out. It's just like, how do you make diamonds? You've got lots of black coal. Right? So all these bad guys like coal. They get crushed, you know. And you get so much coal in one little diamond, you know. Right? So we are like diamond. If the Buddhas are as many as the sand of the Ganges River, the Buddha value is like sand. But we have only one Buddha, so it's like a precious diamond, you see. So that's the big difference of the historical Buddha. People have been changing Buddhism throughout history. So we don't have to follow that, because the one who gives to the money to the monk and the monk who receives both commit the same bad karma. You'll be poor. You are wasting your wealth. You give to the temple, you give to some suitable charity, do your own social work, help the poor, help the sick. There's so many people suffering in the world. In the Philippines, so many young people couldn't educate, couldn't go for even simple university education. They're selling their bodies, you know. And all they need is just a few $100 a month. We can easily help them. And here we are all living in luxury, you see. So that there are simple things to help people we can do. Yes?
My question is not about money. It's about the topic about euthanasia you mentioned earlier. I just want to ask your comments about the Human Organ Transplant Act. In Singapore, the HOTA, Human Organ Transplant Act. The government defines that death is when the brain is dead, even though the heart is pumping, the lungs are breathing. So I know that some Buddhist friends, they opt out from HOTA.
Yes.
Because they say that the subconscious mind is still residing in the body, And then government say, oh, as soon as the declared brain dead, they will start to take the 4 organs. So you either opt out or no, now it's automatically opt in. You have to opt out.
Yeah.
So I just want to hear your views whether
Again, Again, there is no straightforward answer for this because each of us have got different strength of mind. Okay, if you fear, they say, "Oh, I don't know how I feel." Then, okay, it's best to. Oh, well, it's up to you. See? But if you understand the nature of death, you say, "Oh, I'm ready because I know I'll be reborn." So, okay, that's fine. So you got to decide how you feel about it. Okay, so someone who has a lot of fear should not do it because that organ also won't be very good. You have too much fear. Apparently, someone says, so there are lots of ideas about all these things. But generally speaking, of course, to donate the organ is a good thing. You save lives, right? But the question is, are you ready for it or not? So you got to ask yourself that. Otherwise,
the person is still conscious. Can you feel the pain?
If you're conscious, by definition, you should feel pain. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Brain dead. Your consciousness is.
Yeah. Brain dead means you have no feeling. That means not conscious. Okay, let's go on. Okay, so next part is wrong verbal action. So you have 4 here. And how? Okay, it's 9 o'clock. So we stop here. Yeah, I think yes, no problem. You can always continue next round if you can't finish. Okay, we have a short break. Next section is on the 4 wrong speeches. 2.2. And how bhikshus is the defiling fault of verbal action due to unwholesome volition with painful outcome, painful results, 4-fold. Okay, so there are 4 kinds of painful results. So karma has got painful results. Okay, so be very careful. Suffering of the body, suffering of the mind. Okay? Section 3. Here, bhikshus, a certain person speaks falsehood, tells lies. When okay, now this sutta is interesting because it defines for you what's meant by breaking the precept. When questioned as a witness before a council, which is also a court, before a congregation, in a meeting or in a family, in the midst of relatives, that is, midst of relatives in the family, in the midst of a guild or company, in the midst of the royal court or a court of law, and question thus, "Sir, tell me what you know." Not knowing, he says he knows. Or knowing, he says he knows not. Having not seen, he says he saw. Or having seen, he says he did not see. Consciously lying thus for his own sake, for the sake of others, or for some material gain. All right, there you are, very clear definition. Someone tells lies for your sake, other people's sake, because of someone else. So it doesn't mean I tell lie for someone else, but it's all right. Okay. Now there is a problem here. Okay, those days we used to run courses, and we have a special discussion on dilemmas about precepts. Let's say robbers break into your house and want to kill your parents. Now, do you tell the truth? Say where my parents is or not? You see? So this is a problem here. See? So, but remember, these kind of questions, they are what they call this rather rare circumstances. Okay, here the precepts talking about daily life. Under those rare circumstances, you have to use your wisdom. Okay, you definitely have to protect your parents' life. So you try your best to protect. Now, of course, in the process of doing that, you may hurt, harm, or even kill the other person. That is also your karma. But remember, that karma is not as bad as letting your parents die, for example. Okay, so that's why the Buddha says, all this karma you have done doesn't mean they will ripen. See, all right? Certain karma will ripen at certain times, and when they ripen, they tend to pull other karma also together. So a lot of they say you don't just stumble, everything will fall on you also. So you have to be very careful once karma ripens. So that's why we cultivate a lot of metta. We don't want those kind of situations to arise, that we have to make very difficult decisions. There are even worse situations. For example, when you have to fight for the country in a war, things like that. And these are all very difficult things which we rather not happen. See? All right? But these are when there is peace, when we can practice the Dhamma. These are, you can say, near ideal conditions. And this is what makes us really human. And nowadays people know very well they don't want to have something like a war. It is both sides lose. All right? So remember, these precepts are for daily life. All right? So don't think too much about very specific, rare conditions that probably will never happen in your life anyway. Yeah? The next one is the second precept about speech. Yeah? Here again, he speaks divisive words that divide people up. Yeah? In Malay, we say batu api. Yeah? What he has heard here from others, he repeats it there to others to divide them. What he has heard there, he repeats it here to divide them. Thus he divides the united. He encourages the divided to remain so, or he rejoices in the division. Being pleased at discord. He's very happy when people quarrel. Enjoying discord, delighting in discord. Saying words conducive to discord. Right? So here they like to separate people. So we're very careful here, especially in marriage. Né? So this is where we say, whatever you say should keep married couples together. I remember when I was monk in Thailand studying in Vinaya, sometimes this teacher will joke, tell us some very funny cases, you know. One of the interesting points was this: a monk cannot match make. For example, in Sunday school, you say, "Oh, this nice boy here, nice girl here. Why don't you get together?" You know. Then you break a rule. The reason is simple, because if those couple get together and they start quarreling, then they'll blame you. So, another thing also, you promote lust. So a monk should not do that. However, the monk said, if a married couple come to you and they're going to divorce, then you have to make every effort to ensure that they stay together, they don't separate. Okay? So these are those things we will never forget. So there's interesting teachings. All right. So here, don't speak in such a way to split friendships. There's another sutta which actually gives you some case, what happens to you if you do all this bad karma. So the result will be something like, you will not be popular, then you won't have friends, see? You'll be alone yourself, something like that. So there are repercussions, yeah? But we'll come to these fruits of karma later on, okay? The next one, 6. Here again, he speaks harsh words. He utters words that are rough, hard, hurting to others, offensive to others, connected with anger, inconducive to mental concentration. So this last line is very important. Inconducive to mental concentration. Doesn't help in your meditation. Okay? So remember, all these teachings are to help you in mental cultivation. So here, using harsh words, scolding words. Again, here intention is what is important. I once had a friend, his family runs a coffee shop. And they don't talk, they shout at each other. At first I was quite shocked. I said, why do they shout at each other? He said, it comes from a coffee shop family. So they all shout at each other. I said, okay. So we kind of know that they're actually nice people. Of course, these are rare occasions again, okay? Very rare occasion. So we should not be too judgmental when we know Vinaya, when we know this Sila, morality also. Be compassionate. Try to understand why people behave certain ways. If they are habitually wrong with intention, then you try to help them. But sometimes it's their nature. And slowly perhaps they will change by following your good example or example of others in the community. All right. So this is all quite clear and straightforward, right? And then number 7 is the fourth of the wrong speeches. Here again, he chatters frivolously, frivolous talk, utters useless talk. He speaks at the wrong time, speaks what is false, what is unbeneficial. He speaks what is not the teaching, not the Dhamma, what is not the discipline, not the Vinaya. He speaks words not worth treasuring, not worth remembering, spoken out of time, poorly reasoned, in other words, baseless, undefined, rambling, unconnected with the goal. It doesn't help you to move towards the path, towards awakening. So this bhikshus is the defiling fault of verbal action due to unwholesome volition with painful outcome, painful results. Right? So the 4 wrong speeches: falsehood, divisive words, harsh words, frivolous talk. Okay, so these are the 4 wrong speeches to avoid. But this is human communication, right? We humans are very communicative. We use language. That's why there are 4 precepts here, whereas of the body only 3. Okay, the mind also 3. 3 plus 4 plus 3, so we got together 10. Now the last one, last set, wrong mental action. 3.2. And how bhikshus is the defiling fault of mental action due to the unwholesome volition with painful outcome, painful results. Threefold. Here, monks, a certain person is covetous. Covetous, that means you want things which other people have. He covets the possession of others. They are of service to them, thinking, oh, may what belongs to others become mine. Notice this one is very similar to stealing. Stealing, you actually take it. But here, you don't steal, but you steal with the mind. Right? So, because, according to the Vinaya, if you think about it, you don't break the precept. But the danger is, you keep on thinking about it, it will lead you sooner or later to breaking the precept. That's why it is dangerous, right? So we correct that by doing loving kindness, by doing metta. So, no covetous thoughts. 9. Here again, he is one with a mind of ill will, a mind of wicked thoughts, thinking, may these beings be killed or slaughtered or wiped out or destroyed or not exist, right? Notice in Buddhism we never say this. Wow, the religion usually they want to destroy their enemies and so on. So we don't have this kind of talk.
Habitually, locally, sometimes I hear people to see.
Okay, now I was just going to raise that point. Okay, all this is clearly mentioned in the commentaries. It says sometimes a mother may scold a child, right? Because the child is very naughty, wants to go out and play in the forest. The mother says, don't go, but the child still goes. The mother says, you go there, may the devil catch you, or may the tigers eat you, right? The mother scolds the child, but, says the commentator, the mother doesn't have hate in her heart. The reality is the mother is so concerned, trying to frighten the child not to go, you see. So, but still, okay, a monk wouldn't talk like that, okay? So, basically what the Buddha is trying to say is you got to use proper words, because the words you use will be followed by your students, your children, and so on. All right. So here, no mind of ill will. No? And then the last one is 10. Here again, he is one with wrong views or wrong views, no? With distorted vision, thinking there is no giving. No offering, no sacrifice. So in other words, giving is not useful. No? Notice it doesn't say giving money, it says giving, okay? There is no fruit or result of good or bad actions. In other words, no such thing as karma. The world does not exist and the next world does not exist. No this world, no future world. No? In other words, nothing exists. Nihilism. There's no mother, no father. Doesn't believe in the family. Okay? There is no spontaneously born beings. Okay, this one's a bit tricky. If you look at just the words like this, it refers to the non-returners. In other words, there are no saints. But spontaneously beings can also refer to devas. All right? This has to do with future life, right? Future life. So if you're not sure, take all the meanings you can understand. Right? So in other words, there is such a thing as non-returners, right? As there are arahats, okay? And if you do good, you'll be reborn in a happy state. So the devas are called spontaneously born beings. There are no Brahmins and recluses who, living rightly and practicing rightly, having directly known and realized for themselves this world and the hereafter, proclaim them. Now, here meaning that good is possible. Right? Some people say, oh, good is not possible. The people are by nature bad. They have a very negative idea. So that one is wrong view. No? It is possible to be good. Because if it's not possible to be good, society is not possible. Human beings cannot learn to live together. In fact, if you look at the way society learn to live together, there is always certain rules. Life is precious. The community is precious. Protect your life, protect the life of others in your community. Share your goods. Be kind to one another. Respect one another. All the 5 precepts are the basic rules of a good society, in other words. So it's not just about precepts. The 5 precepts are universal laws. They are not. They belong to what is called natural morality, pakati sila. It is not invented by the Buddha. It's only pointed out by him. These are natural things which makes human society, a good society, possible. Okay. So then the sutta ends. And it says, this is the defiling fault of mental actions due to unwholesome volition with painful outcome, painful result, threefold. Okay. And then in the next section, the Buddha talks about disadvantages of this wrong karma. Section 5. Bhikshus, as a result of the 3 kinds of defiling fault of correct to bodily action due to unwholesome volition, beings after death, when the body has broken up, reappear in the plane of misery, a bad destination, a lower realm in hell. So, and everything repeats itself. Those who practice wrong speech, same thing, would be reborn in suffering states. Those who practice wrong mental action also will be reborn in suffering states. This is the one that I want to talk a bit about. Karma is not just consequence. Doesn't mean you do A and then the result A1 will appear. Although it seems like that. Many of the karmic results will appear in this life itself. When someone habitually lies, you can sense it in the person. And this person will habitually lie. And someone who habitually lies will also have a lot of fear. See? So that all this bad karma attract other bad karma. See? Because they are afraid they will lose things. You see? So one way to help these people is to talk to them, listen to them. What is it that's troubling them? One principle is very clear. People do not enjoy breaking the precepts unless they've gone through some kind of suffering or negative condition that condition them to behave like that. So you've got to find out what is that and try to make them see that and correct them from there. Okay? In other words, if they are happy, people are really happy, even if they are poor, they will not break the precepts. Happy in the sense they are kind to each other, they don't mind sharing. All right? So this is compassion. So that's why good is possible when we help each other. Okay? I mean, just like family, If you have someone in the family who has broken the precept, you don't punish this person, you try to help this person. So that's compassion. But you can only help the person effectively with wisdom and your example. Right? So that's why by doing it, you can say, oh, everybody is doing it. Well, everybody is doing it because you are doing it. So if you stop, you can say everybody is doing it, but I'm not doing it. So you are the starting example. That's how society change. We cannot say everybody is doing it. All right, that is the excuse. All right, then you get the society you deserve. So even if it means you are by yourself, you have to take that choice if it is the right choice in this case. Yeah. So think very carefully. If you are in a position to help produce more good people, you should take that stand. Don't be afraid. A simple story will give you a famous Jataka story will illustrate this case. A rabbit was sleeping under a tree one day. This tree has this big, ripe, red fruit. This story is very interesting, very funny. It talks about this rabbit dreaming. The rabbit was dreaming that the sky was falling. And then this ripe fruit fell bang on the big leaf, very loud crash. And the rabbit, being what it is, very timid, thought that the sky actually has fallen because his big fruit fell, you see. So he got up and ran. And runs, and then other animals say, "Well, you're running." And what the rabbit say? It said, "The sky is falling." And these stupid animals follow. Of course, here you can tell Sunday school children, they love this story. The rabbit ran, and then here comes the wild boar. The rabbit said to the wild boar, "The sky is falling," and they ran. And then after the elephant came along, the wild boar said to the elephant, or rather the elephant asked the wild boar, "Why are you running?" He said, "The sky is falling." So it goes on like that, repeats, Here, the Buddha is showing how gossip spread, how wrong views spread by people with a lot of fear, and they start telling each other all these things. Everybody listens. So the group became bigger and bigger, all these animals. They were running with the rabbit in front. Mind you, a rabbit. So the elephants and tigers and all these big animals were running, rumbling, heading for the great ocean, says the Jataka. That means this animal is going to drown like lemmings, in the ocean. So are you going to say, "Oh, too bad, all animals are running, what can I do?" Not the wise young lion. Okay, and here you have a movie about this lion, right? But here is the real story, okay? Now this lion, it is said, was standing on the top of a rock and saw all these animals running, and said, "These stupid animals are running blindly, they're heading to the sea or the great ocean, they're going to drown." So what does a lion do? If the lion says, "Oh, it's not my business, the stupid animals, let them go, I'll survive, more food to eat." No, the lion didn't think like that. The lion says these animals are heading for sure danger. So the lion gave a loud roar. And once there's forest animals hear the roar, they stop in their track, you see. So this is called a lion roar. This is the Dharma, you see. When you hear the Dharma, you stop in your track. You start thinking, "What am I doing? What am I doing? Is this right? Is this wrong?" Right? So the animals stop. All the animals stop. Then the lion comes down and proudly struts and says, "Okay, why are you running?" Elephant says, "I don't know." The bear was running. Ask the bear, "Why are you running?" The bear said, "I don't know. The wild boar is running. Name your animals." Okay, went on like that. Until finally it came down to the rabbit. Here is what? We're talking about cause effect, dependent origination, depending arising. Anyway, so finally the lion comes to the rabbit and said, "Why are you running?" The rabbit says, "The sky is falling." We all know skies don't fall. At least this wise lion knows it. So he asked the rabbit, "What do you mean the sky fell? It's still there." And then the lion asked, "Okay, show me where the sky fell." The rabbit said, No, I'm not going back there." The lion said, "Okay, then you jump on my back. I'll take you. Show me the way. I'll take you there." So the elephant jumped onto the rabbit jumped on the back of the what we call the lion, and he was directed to the place where the rabbit slept. And then, because you can make up your stories here, the rabbit so scared, closed his eyes. Then the lion says, "Okay, you can open your eyes now. Show me where exactly did you sleep?" Say, "Oh, I slept here." And then the lion said, What do you see there? There's a ripe fruit. You see up there are many more ripe fruits. And one just fell, boom, I said, there you are. There's your sky falling. Of course, the rabbit was bashful and so on, and everybody's happy. So everybody's watching, you see, right? So here's a beautiful story. One animal in the big jungle saved the life of so many other animals. We all can be that lion. You all need to be that single lion. The lion roar is the Dhamma. The Buddha was that lion in the past life, see? Right? So don't say that one person's action is not helpful, In fact, you need one person. That's all you need to start. That's the story of this Jataka, of the lion. Okay? And this became so famous, it went through Arabia and it went to Europe, this story. Preserved in Arabic first and then...
Become a chicken.
Yeah, in the West it became a story of chicken licken. Okay?
Today they call it fake news.
Yes, that too. All right, so then the next part is a parable of the dice thrown. So here the Buddha says when you throw dice, you're sure to get one of the sides, right? So karma is like that. When you create karma, it's like throwing dice. You are sure to get a number. It will come back to you. You will somehow pay for it, right? Possibility. It doesn't mean it will happen right now, but chances are it will happen, all right? Now let me summarize for you. The good part is very easy. You can go back, please read all this. So this part defines for you all in positive way. Look at 7.2. Bhikshus, threefold is the virtue of bodily action due to wholesome volition with pleasurable outcome, pleasurable result. And then 4 of speech, 3 of the mind. Right? And look at 8. And how bhikshus, the virtue of bodily action due to wholesome volition with pleasurable outcome, pleasurable results, 3, 4. Right. So again, the same. You got 3, 4, 3. 1. Here among a certain person having given up harming living beings, refrains from harming living beings, lays down the rod and sword. Rod is punishment, corporal punishment. Sword is capital punishment. All right? Capital means head. So capital punishment means use the sword to chop off the person's head. It is this phrase, I think, that converted Ashoka. That Ashoka decided to be non-violent. In other words, don't neither punish people violently nor chop off their heads, but train them to be good. Conscientious, merciful, dwells, beneficial, and compassionate to all living beings. Notice the last word is compassionate. So we don't kill because we show compassion to beings, because all beings love their life. Next, here again, having given up the not given, he refrains from taking the not given in a village or in a forest. He does not take away by theft the possession of others that are of service to them, just opposite of previous, the wrong karma. Number 3, here again, having given up sexual misconduct, he refrains from having affairs with the wrong kind of people and takes responsibility for all his actions. Okay? So, and then the next 4 are the right speeches. Number 4, here bhikshus, a certain person having given up speaking falsehood, refrains from speaking falsehood, so doesn't tell lies in court, in any gathering, in a family. He tells the truth. If it happens, it happens. It did not happen, he says it did not happen. Number 5, he gives up divisive speech. So he doesn't divide people up. On the contrary, he uses words which bring people who are broken up, bring them together, keep them united. And then he's happy. He rejoices in that unity. Then number 6, he gives up harsh speech. Okay, this is very nice. Let me read to you. He refrains from harsh speech. He utters words that are blameless, pleasant to the ear, touching to the heart, Obeying means like respectful, civil. Loved by the masses, pleasing to the masses. When you talk to the crowd, you got to be nice to them, basically. That's why when we give Dhamma talk, we never insult the audience. That's one way of putting it. And then number 7, we give up useless talk. Yeah? So here the talk is worth treasuring, spoken in time, well reasoned, well defined, connected with the goal. Okay? And then number 8, further down. So these are the last 3 are mental karma. Here, a certain person is not covetous, so he doesn't covet what other people have. So if other people say, "Oh, good, very good, sadhu." No? And then number 9, he has a mind free of ill will. In other words, have loving kindness. May these beings be free from hate. May they be free from suffering. May they be free from trouble. May they continue to be happy. That's what we did earlier today, right? And then right view. Right view means what? There is what is given, what is offered, what is sacrificed. In other words, when you give the right things, it helps, right? There is give right thing. That means you don't give drugs to a drug addict. That is wrong giving. Okay, so we're talking about wholesome giving, right giving. There is fruit and result of good and bad actions. Right? There is karma. There is mother. There is father. There are spontaneously born beings. There are Brahmins and recluses who, rightly living. Here, Brahmins and recluses refers to Buddha's time. You have the Brahmins who are priests, and then you have the other group are the different who do not accept the teachings of the Brahmins. So there are good Brahmins. There are also good non-Brahmins. Right? This is possible for both sides, for everyone to be good, basically. So it's a very positive teaching. Yeah? And if they live rightly, if they live rightly, they will also enjoy good, whether you call yourself a Buddhist or not. Okay? So then the Buddha said this good karma will come to you just as sure as you throw the dice, same parable. You throw the dice, you get a number, so this karma will come back to you. And by way of habit, so if you are positive, then your nature also will be positive, you'll be happy, and then it helps you to practice good karma, keep the precepts even more easily, and then you become an example of others. In another sutta, the Buddha says, a good person advises others to keep the precept. He himself keeps the precept, he advises others to keep the precepts, and he praises them, he rejoices when others keep the precepts too. So these are called the 3 right actions. Okay? So there you are. We have finished this karma, this sutta on karma. You can go back and read up. There is a second typo. Where was that? Look at number 11. The underlying word mental correct to bodily also. Okay? So do check all these proofreading human errors. Correct them. Okay, so we end here for the moment, all right? And then we continue next round with a new book. No quick burning question. Any quick burning question? I don't see any smoke, so it's okay. All right. Okay, let us close this session for the moment. We'll close volume 3A also. This is a very wonderful occasion. We have accomplished studying a whole volume. This is a celebration of very good karma that we are able to gather here. Some of you have never failed to come here. That is a wonderful, great act. In the past, you have done good deeds, so you're able to maintain that karma. Now you have done some more good karma, and good karma upon good karma, it piles up that way. And this is a very wonderful thought to just reflect on. Even if this is the first time you come, it is still a good thought to reflect on. We have kept the precepts from the very beginning. So next time you can't meditate, just reflect on this moment of peace when we have kept the precepts and you feel good about it. This is called an inspiring meditation, and this will help you to loosen up your mind, free your mind, and to continue your meditation. Reflecting in this way is very good karma. By the power of this good karma, may we be well, may we be happy. May our minds be clear and free from distractions so that we can practice the Buddha's teaching happily and fruitfully. And above all, may we be blessed with the wisdom and courage to aspire to stream winning at least in this life. May our family and loved ones be well and happy too on this account. And through the power of the three jewels too, may those who are practicing the Dharma to see their fruit in this life and become good teachers. And by the power of the three jewels, may those who are lost and having difficulties, may they too return to the true path of the Buddha in this life itself. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.